Hi, this is Teddy, and you're listening to Adrienne Bell on Two Broads Talking Politics, part of the Demcast Podcast Network. Bye.
Are you listening?
Hey everyone, this is Kelly Pollack with Two Broads Talking Politics, part of the Demcast family of podcasts, and I am thrilled to be joined today by a returning guest. This is Adrienne Bell, who is running for Congress in the Texas 14th District. Hi, Adrienne.
Hi there. I am privileged to be able to join you today. Thank you so much for having me back on the show.
Yeah, so it's been quite a while now since we last talked. So could we start by just sort of a refresher of your background and why you're running for Congress?
Well, I am a fourth grade school teacher in Houston, in the largest school district that's in Texas. And I have a background as a community organizer as well. I worked as an engineer, but I've had a pretty varied background. And now, once I became a community organizer working on President Obama's reelection campaign, that set a fire off in me to really start working more in my community in organizing, because I saw the power of organizing. I saw the power of the people. And so I'm running for Congress in Texas 14 because the seat that is now being occupied by someone else, it's not serving the people. And so we're running to take back that seat for the people.
Great. And so let's talk then about this district. I think if people haven't seen a map of this district, they should look. It is quite odd looking. So it's somehow wraps around the city of Houston and goes over some water. Can you talk a little bit about the 14th District?
Well, it is outside of the city of Houston. It's 2,400 square miles. And it is about 85% rural and about 14% urban. So it encompasses Galveston County, Jefferson County, and parts of Brazoria County. And it is a gerrymandered district. As you know, Texas is the 7th gerrymandered state in the country. And it is an area that is full of hardworking people. And it's one thing I really like about the district. It contains a lot of cities, and a lot of cities with a lot of different personalities, and that make up this district, and a lot of, small towns. And it's more of, when you go into different cities such as Beaumont or Texas City or Freeport, it's their hometown feel. So people grew up there. People, still live where they grew up, and it's small town feeling. And I love that because it's community.
So as you're going around and talking to people in the district, what are the issues that they're really focused on? What are the things that keep coming up for them?
Education keeps coming up, having a quality public education. Healthcare is a big issue because there's a lot of seniors, there's a lot of veterans. There are people who need affordable housing. This area was very hard hit by Hurricane Harvey, which, was a couple of years ago, but the reconstruction or the rebuilding of the infrastructure, it's still lacking. And so you have a lot of people that are concerned about clean air, clean water, and making sure that we have good jobs.
And you ran in 2018 as well. What are some things, are there lessons that you learned the first time around, things that you're sort of taking with you now in this run again now in 2020?
Well, let me tell you, Texas is a big old state, and these districts are pretty large. And our goal was to talk to as many people as possible, because one thing that we have in Texas is a voter apathy and not turning out voters. And so we have to talk to many people as possible to get them to turn out to vote. And so that lesson is one that is still being learned by a lot of different people. We can work as hard as we want, but when it comes at the end of the day, it's up to the people to vote. And so we just continue knowing that we've got to knock on doors. We got to talk to people on the telephone. We have to be where the community is located. And it just takes a lot of footwork. It takes a lot of talking to people. and it takes being involved. But that's who I am. I love being a part of the community. I love being out in the community at the different events, going to doors. I talked to a supporter a few days ago. I was out canvassing, knocked on her door. Well, one of the team members knocked on her door, and she's 93 years old. And she wanted to meet me because I was walking on the other side of the street. But she was so excited to meet me, and I'm excited to meet her because she's 93 and still drives her own. And she was just excited. And so she invited me in her home, and I am just honored that people open up their homes to me, and they already know who I am because we got 92,000 votes last cycle, which was the most votes a Democrat had gotten in a midterm in that district. And so we found out going in that we had a lot more name recognition than we knew about. And so that was a really eye-opening thing that people actually knew and cared about about me because they felt as though I cared about them.
Are you finding that people this time around are more interested in politics? It seems impossible to avoid politics these days. Are they thinking about the election in 2020? Are they thinking about congressional seats being up? What does the sort of energy on the ground look like?
Texas has a lot more energy this time around because it is a presidential election year, but also Texas is being seen as a battleground state. And so we see a lot more influx of monies coming into our state. A lot of different, even the presidential candidates are opening up offices in our areas, which we didn't have that going on before. So that's bringing in, some more awareness. And so we hope that turns into more votes, that things that are happening every day. I haven't met anyone yet who was for war. I just haven't met anyone who was for the separation of families or for people being Black men, especially being locked up because of crimes that they did not commit. I just haven't met anyone that's for those kind of things. And when they see what's going on, they're telling me we need something different. We need a change.
Texas has been hit especially hard by gun violence in recent years. And I know that, Texas is also a state where a lot of people do own firearms. As you're going around and talking to people, are people talking about gun violence? Is that something that they are concerned with? And, you yourself as a teacher, this must be something that comes up for you as well.
It's not a subject that when I start talking to people that's a major issue and something that they just want to talk a lot. One of the top issues that comes up is healthcare. And when we talk about gun violence in District 14, where we had a school shooting that occurred, it was talked about more then. And we even had a forum to talk about school safety. And being a teacher, school safety is something that we do talk about because of public education. And we want our children to be safe. And parents want their children to be safe. And so when we talk about gun violence, it's for the protection of our community and for us being safe in our own communities and not have anything to do with control. It's just being responsible. It's having laws that protect. It's having funding to research gun violence to get to the root cause of it and not just address symptoms.
Understandably, education is one of the issues that you care about. It doesn't seem to me like we have a lot of teachers in Congress or former teachers in Congress. Can you talk some about what that perspective of being a teacher would bring for you if you're in Congress, the sorts of things that you would like to see done in education reform?
When you are actually in the education system, and I am a classroom teacher, you see day to day the struggles that our students are having. You see the struggle that we as teachers are having and the lack of support for teachers, the lack of resources for our students to make sure that we don't continue the technology divide. The way teachers need to be supported as far as higher raises. We have more teachers now going on strike and speaking out because the education system is being neglected. And it's not being funded properly. So as teachers, we need the freedom to teach and our students need the freedom to learn. And right now we've got the high stakes testing, standardized testing, which takes a lot away from daily education that our students are missing because we have to prepare them to pass a test that happens in April or May for one day for 4 hours for each test. Instead of teaching them some of the basics that they may be lacking in, we don't have the time because we got to keep up with a certain calendar pacing, although that pacing does not fit our classroom. So we need the ability to be individualized, to be professionals, for our professionalism to be trusted to where we can make the best decision for our classes and not based on a standardized high stakes test. And it would look different because I would fight for teachers. I would fight for education. I would fight for our students, for more program wraparound services for our students when you have children of incarcerated parents or children being raised by grandparents, children coming out of different, homeless situations. And these are our future. And we cannot just continue to neglect them, not continue to educate them because they are our future. And an educated society is a better society. And so we got to make sure that we keep education at the forefront and keep pushing that for our country and for our economic well-being.
Do your students know that you're running for Congress? Have you talked about it at all?
I'm going to tell you, it's so interesting. You asked me that today. I had a student, they went to I don't talk about it because I just want them to see me as Miss Bell. I'm their fourth grade teacher, and that's it. Because I teach English language arts. I just want them to learn how to read and write. That's it. But today they had gone to a computer class, and apparently one of them Googled me. And so when they came back to class, the question was, Miss Bell, are you a politician? And I'm like, oh, no, I've been discovered. So I have not had that sit-down conversation because they already Googled me and they found out, you have your own logo. I'm like, oh, my gosh. So Google. Thank you, Google.
I probably asked this last time we talked, but it seems like if you could manage a room full of fourth graders, I have a second grader myself, so, I have a sense of what fourth graders are like. And if you could manage a room full of fourth graders, Congress should be just a walk in the park.
I absolutely think so. Being a teacher, it's management, it's planning, it's being able to, and then I have a management background, of being able to collaborate and being diplomatic, not in a phony way, but in a way that's collaborative and get the job done. I'm about getting the job done and the end results. And so much of what we have right now is a lot of talk and no action. And we need people in Congress who are regular, everyday folk who understand regular, everyday problems. I was just talking to someone who was telling me about how hard it is for seniors and that you're having more seniors. This is something that they have read. You have more seniors that are living together because they can't afford living on Social Security or, with drug prices being so expensive. So seniors who have retired but may not have a pension are having to find alternatives. And I think that's shameful as a country that we are not taking care of the ones who've taken care of us and we're not focusing on them. So that's another focus I have are our seniors, to make sure that they're able to retire and live with dignity and be cared for, and which is a part of Medicare for All, which I truly support.
So this is a district that Cook has rated as an R+12, although, as you mentioned, people are increasingly seeing Texas as a battleground state. And you're unabashedly progressive candidate. Do you think that those progressive values, that kind of progressive approach is actually what you need in a district like that? Do you see this as something that is really appealing to voters, to turn out more voters?
I think it is, and it's who I am. If I pretended to be someone else, then that's just a fake, and that's not who I am. So this district is about 37% minority. It's 51% women, and it's a lot of working people. So when I go out and I talk with people, they share progressive values. And I don't know any other way. People need healthcare insurance. People need to be able to live in homes. We need our infrastructure rebuilt. We need criminal justice reform. We need clean air and clean water. I just look at those values and policies that need to be made to help people. And I just can't see any other way of doing that or trying to work around that and say, well, maybe we just kind of need it. No, we need it. And when you're out talking to people, people need it. And that's what they want. And they find a lot of times the people that they vote into office get there and don't do anything for them. And that's the sentiment that I hear. You know, please don't forget about us. Well, that's not what I'm going to do. I'm going there to take a seat for us so that the voices of the people are actually back in Congress in the seat of Texas 14.
So as our listeners are listening to this, they're getting all inspired. What can they do to help out your campaign?
Well, our website is voteforbell.com. That's VOTEFORBELL.com. We have our election is primaries March 3rd. Early vote starts on February the 18th. So Texas is, I believe, the first state to have a primary. And so we get started. So we are a grassroots campaign. We don't take special interest money or PAC money of, special interest. And so we would love the contributions of the people, because I always say that when I get into office, my vote is a vote cast for Americans. It's not just cast for the people of District 14. And so volunteering, you can make phone calls from all across America into the district to ask people to go out and vote, and just passing our information on social media. So the more that the word gets out, the more people know about us, about our campaign and what we seek to accomplish in this district, then the victory will be ours. And it'll be for all of us, not just a select few.
The primary is coming up very quickly now.
It is, very quickly. And so people have to, we go from the holidays straight into voting and getting people registered. And really, we have to kick it into gear, in a lot of different groups of going into gear real quick to make things happen.
Is there anything else that you would like to make sure we talk about today?
I think that pretty much covers it. That we just need people that will support other people and not just the select few. And that we actually become a nation that seeks to help one another and not just continue to tear one another down. And this hatred that is dividing our country and the polarization because of parties, we can't win like that. And so in order for us to win, we're going to have to come together as a community, support one another, put people in office who actually care about the people so that our country can progress.
Excellent. Well, Adrienne, thank you so much for speaking with me, and thank you for running again.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate being broad talking politics.
Thank you for listening to Two Broads Talking Politics, part of the Dimcast Podcast Network. Our theme song is called Are You Listening? Off of the album Elephant Shaped Trees by the band Immunuri, and we're using it with permission of the band. Our logo and other original artwork is by Matthew Wethlin and was created for use by this podcast. You can contact us at twobroadstalkingpolitics@gmail.com or on Twitter or Facebook at Two Broads Talk. You can find all of our episodes at twobroadstalkingpolitics.com or anywhere podcasts are found.